Sparta! Fatality.
Man, let me tell you, yesterday, wow. After the podcast, like I said, I was taking in some libations, got visits, company, if you will, little Hennessy and Crown. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this morning I was dragging something terrible, but we're here. We're here and now. Episode 382 of the UFO Buster Radio Report. Let me just go over to the live chat real quick and say my customary shout-outs, which you who are not there right now could be receiving if you join the podcast live on Spreaker.com or join Discord, and you can go in there and get your shout-outs in there. We got Game Vet Green Man. I know I saw someone else here. The Norm is here. Oh, yeah. Guess what? I think I messed up because I was supposed to put the links to their YouTube creations in here. So, if you want to see those, you guys are going to have to come over back to the Dark Horde with Chris Garcia, the psychic. And I bet you he probably knew I was going to forget. The alcohols, they do crazy things to you. They really do. They mess up your thought processes. And to be honest, in order to make sure I was crisp and sharp for this episode right now, I started drinking early. So now I got that out the system, and I'm here to do the podcast with you guys. The one thing I did promise was that we were going to revisit episode 209. I listened to it, like I said, and I got those remarks from our buddy on YouTube. And he just wanted me to know that he really felt that this was a real deal story. This guy wasn't pulling anybody's leg. He wasn't faking it. What I got for you guys today is an interview that was done. It was actually done on the Discovery Channel way back when. In this audio clip, you're going to hear the individual in question. You're going to hear one of the sergeants that investigated the incident. And you're going to hear the man's wife. All in the same audio clip, as they talk about basically what happened that day from their perspectives, what their thoughts were, because the sergeant's going to talk. Sergeant's going to be like, oh, this is what went down. This is what this guy did. This is what happened to him. Bada bing, bada boom. Except he's from Scotland, so it's not going to be like that. But nonetheless, it's going to be cool. You guys are going to enjoy it. I mean, I do. I'm okay with it. I really am okay, but we're going to talk about what happened. The first story for today, though, it has to do with Technosignatures. All you guys that are in love with the idea of ancient aliens, stop the podcast right now if you're not listening live. Go to the bathroom, get something to mold up your hair, and stand it straight up like that guy. Not even going to say his name. I'm not. But go ahead and do that. Stand it right up, because the first news report is for you. Every way possible, every bit of this one is for you. So you can go say it's aliens until the cows come home and get mutilated. But this one is for you. I want to give a shout out to Game Vet, and also Adam Baum has joined the show today. Adam Baum, who supplied us with a story for yesterday's episode, by the way. Thank you, Mr. Baum. First name Adam. And so we're going to head and let's get this started, because I'm starting to lose my buzz, and that's not cool at all.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done. Left me at the party out of the blue, saying skies. Felt so elevating, too easy at times. Then all of a sudden reality strikes. It was all just a lie. Don't you have a conscience? Don't you feel bad? Acting like a monster, don't it feel sad? All I want is closure, but I'll have to manage without. How about that? If you could rewind, do it again. I wonder, would you hurt me just like you did? Or would you fast forward to the end? I wonder, so you wouldn't have to face what you did. You're a stupid boy, treating hearts like toys, but I'm just as stupid as you. For believing lies from my clueless mind, but I didn't know what you do. I could have known it, I'm not a psychic. The only psycho here is you. 'Cause you're a stupid boy, treating hearts like toys, but I'm just as stupid as you. Na 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 na, just as stupid as you. Na 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 na, just as stupid as you. You're a stupid boy, treating hearts like toys, but I'm just as stupid as you. For believing lies from a clueless mind, but I didn't know what you do. I could have known it, I'm not a psychic. The only psycho here is you. 'Cause you're a stupid boy, treating hearts like toys, but I'm just as stupid as you.
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the
dumb
money?
fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat.
I had to get that out of my system, by the way. That just, it's out there now. I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, women and children of all ages, I know you guys like watching Ancient Aliens and In Search of Aliens with that guy, what's his name, Stantopolopoulos, I don't know what his name is. I don't want to bring it up, but you know what I'm talking about because you just ran to the restroom, probably stepped over one of your kids, kicked the dog just to get your hair in the right spot in order to claim that Ancient Aliens is the way to go, that this is the real deal. Yeah, apparently, our buddy is not the only one that claims that. There is a lot of people that believe that we have, indeed, have found evidence, though I've really never seen any good one, that aliens lived on this planet before humanity. And, of course, we have our buddy Pareidolia Pete, who every week finds something on another planet, namely Mars, that shows that there are other beings there. Or at one time they were, because everything he shows is pretty much dead as fuck. But, like we talked about it 2 days ago, we talked about the fact that he found something, and to me it looked like a peace pipe. It really did. And I think Corey Good left it there. But enough of that. Let's talk about what this particular scientist says. It's not our usual meme guy. It's not him. But this article says aliens may have existed on Earth. Here's why scientists think, theorize, they left. And really it's kind of weird because it's not just that they left. They could have just kicked the bucket, to be honest. According to this question is one of humanity's, not just scientists, most consuming question. I'm not consumed about ancient aliens. I really am not. But still, some scientists are fascinated. And this goes out to old pop repeat. Some pop culture folks love the idea because we see it in movies and governments. Back in 2017, a U.S. space scientist claimed that advanced life forms may be a reality. But it disappeared a long time ago. Well, that really sucks, right? That really bites you in the nuggets. Professor Jason Wright, he's in astronomy and astrophysics. I'm telling you, my buzz is leaving. Professor at Pennsylvania State University, he published a paper that was titled Prior Indigenous Technological Species. Now, how can you get away with publishing something like that? Especially for a university. I would think that at the time that he published this, a lot of people would have laughed at him. Probably tried to get him fired. He says that basically ancient technological species may have lived on Earth billions of years before humanity. Is it possible? Yes. I really firmly believe that that's possible, only because we, as rubber dickers on the planet now, who are doing our best job to fuck it up, we look so far into the past. And really, some of these scientists, they dream about being able to reach like planets and other solar systems and galaxies billions of years away. I'm sure it just happens. This the cycle is the cycle of life, right? That's what it is. We will eventually die out because as of today, there isn't exactly a whole lot of hope for humanity. Doesn't really seem like it. So I can see this. I can see this that, maybe 3 million years in the future, someone's going to find something that's left behind by one of us. We could find Donald's hair. That might be left behind somewhere. It's very possible. I mean, there could be a lot of things that could be left behind. And someone would find it. We could find, in the future, a remnant of Elon Musk's starship somewhere. Junked somewhere in Boca Chica, and it's found by some hairless monkeys that walk around with like 6 arms. I don't know. But it's very possible. According to our buddy here, Mr. Wright, he says that it either could have been Earth, or it could have been a pre-greenhouse Venus, not so hot, or a wet Mars, not so dry. But that from his perspective, because of where we are, it is very possible that even with all those existing, very likely that it would have still been the planet Earth. How lucky for us. What he says is because of the fact that the present day Venus would not be a good place, number one, to look for technological species, because the surface temperature even today is 700 Kelvin. That will melt the fuck out of your jeans, your shoes, your eyeballs. It will just melt you altogether. But he says people have to keep an open mind. And I like these guys because I know they smoke a lot of weed. When you're in science and you're always talking about open minds, you're doing something. You're mellow. You're going against whatever science principles you fucking learned because you missed half of the classes. You didn't go. But the weed brings it all together for you. That's where I think Mr. Wright is at. But it is University of Pennsylvania. So Wright believes that these species, they disappeared. But what we have left behind is their technology. Their technology is here somewhere, buried deep within the planet, covered by millions of years of, nature, weather, catastrophes. We've seen a lot of that lately, right? Killer hornets, the size of airplanes. Things like that. He also proposed this. Again, all you guys who've fixed up your hair, you're going to love this as well. He also proposed that we might find traces of these right now. Right now, Elon, if you're listening, on the surface of the moon. Even on Mars, Pareidolia Pete. Pareidolia Pete right now is loving it. If he ever hears this, he would be vindicated, kind of like TTSA, when the government re-put out the 3 shitty videos. So, yeah, Pareidolia Pete, this is your guy. This is your guy right here. So the moon. Let's talk about the moon. The reason why he says the moon is because there's no fucking humans there. There really isn't very much of weather. There isn't anything that could be corrosive. So technological signatures could still be there, existing right now, buried somewhere. But Pareidolia Pete, I guarantee you, has found most of them. We just don't believe him. He also wrote that the idea of indigenous Martian civilizations pervades science fiction to the point that it's cliche. Again, very possible. Could there be something there? I mean, how old is the fucking planet? It's very possible that life on planets goes in cycles. And we are probably in the middle of ours. Quickly rushing to the fucking end. Guaranteed. There's a quote on here also because he says it is more likely that a lot of the technosignatures have been lost. So yeah, they might have been buried due to things like, storms and weather and stuff like that. Hopefully buried deep enough to where they don't experience corrosion. Very possibly not functioning anymore, but still there. But he says there's one thing that happens, especially on the planet Earth, that could definitely destroy all forms of technosignature, and that would be something catastrophic. And here's a quote from Mr. Wright, Dr. Wright, mad scientist Wright. Such an event would only permanently extinguish the species if there was many cataclysms across the solar system closely spaced in time, a swarm of comets, interplanetary war, perhaps. I mean, this guy was out there. He's not fucking around. Or if the settlements were not completely self-sufficient. Alternatively, an unexpected nearby gamma ray burst or supernova might produce a solar system-wide cataclysm. Even without a cataclysm, the species may have simply died out or become permanently non-technological at some point, or abandoned the solar system permanently for some reason. I don't know. I really don't know. I can see the cataclysms, right? I mean, fuck, we ain't got no dinosaurs anymore. They're gone. Kaput. All we have is a bunch of bones. So it is very possible that sometime a few millions or billions of years in the past, there was maybe some species, a different kind of earthling that had technology, and that shit got wiped the fuck off. Now, the idea that they would leave a planet, that's pretty much perfectly fine, right? There's nothing wrong with this planet. I mean, I take it for a spin all the time. But that they would leave a planet that's okay makes no sense. Where would they go? Why would they have to leave? That's the question. But there you go. If you are a believer in ancient aliens, this is your guy. Look at the article in the description and check it out. There's more to what Mr. Wright said, Professor Jason Wright. And hey, I think that he would be a pretty good guest on this podcast. I mean, there's a lot of you that believe in ancient aliens. I'm not entirely buying it, but I do see that the way life goes on this planet, it's possible. But there wouldn't be aliens. There'd just be another form of earthling. Probably like us, probably not. But who knows? Check this out.
No one ever sees me, I'm losing everybody. Somebody save me, save me. I'm losing every battle. Somebody save me, save me. I'm losing every battle.
Jeez, I was losing my voice in that last segment there due to the lack of alcohol. This next one is the one we've been waiting for. I've been waiting for it, to be honest, and I've been talking about this now for like 3 or 4 fucking days. But we're going to start this off. We're going to listen to Robert Taylor out of Scotland, and he's going to tell his story. And just enjoy this. It's about 3 minutes, almost 4, but it's the man himself. It's like having someone who is an experiencer just tell you what went down, right? Like Travis Walton telling you shit. This is Mr. Taylor for your listening pleasure.
But just occasionally, there is physical evidence to back up reports of close encounters. On the morning of November the 9th, 1979, forestry worker Bob Taylor walked down this woodland track outside Livingston New Town near Edinburgh. He rounded a corner and was astonished to be confronted by an unearthly object.
It was a huge thing with a big round dome, a very dark grey colour, and it had a big flange going all the way around. I could see arms sticking out of this flange with what I took to be blades on the top.
Later, he described what he'd seen to a local newspaper artist who drew this sketch.
As I stood here, there was 2 balls came out, 2 balls. I would think they'd be about 3 feet in diameter with about 6 spikes. And they were rolling on these spikes. They came right up beside me. And I remember feeling a tug at that time. A very powerful smell, a choking sort of smell. And that was it.
He crawled up this path and staggered home, to be met on the doorstep by his bewildered wife.
It looked terrible when he came in the door, and he just stood at the door, and I said, "Have you had an accident with your lorry?" And he said, "No, I've been attacked." And I said, "What with?" And he said, "A spaceship." And I said, "Oh, goodness me, there's no such a thing as a spaceship. I'm going to phone the doctor. You must have fell and hurt your head." He looked quite shocked, and he was drained. He was right white, and his face was dirty, and he had a red scar here. And his clothes were all dirty, and his trousers. And then he told me his trousers had been torn.
Police station Bathgate.
The police were called, and they discovered inexplicable track marks at the scene of the incident.
On examining the area, I found 2 track marks in approximately 40 holes in the ground. And these are the track marks here, and these are the 40 holes. Since then, I've photographed the holes. This is a photograph of the hole here. This is the holes that measured approximately 3.5 inches. And this other photograph here, You can actually see the tread marks which correspond to the marks here. These markings and tracks were actually inside this area here that's fenced off, and there was definitely no other tracks leading to or from this area.
These are the trousers worn by Mr. Taylor. As you can see, they're of fairly heavy material. We have a tear on the left, just below the pocket, and one on the right trouser leg, again just below the pocket. These marks are consistent with the material having been pulled up while the trousers were being worn.
Well, I'm pretty certain that day that I saw a spaceship sitting here.
We must accept the story of Mr. Taylor. He is a very highly respected member of the community, a man of high integrity, and not one likely to invent such a story.
So there's not too many stories out there where you get two gigantic balls, but then you get torn jeans on the left and the right, and then you go home, and you talk to your wife, and she's ready to send you to the loony bin. That is a fantastic story, no matter how you write it. It is incredible. But let's talk about this, because why is it the guys that work in the forest get all the alien ship action? What the hell is going on? And what is it with these two balls? Crazy. If you look at the picture for this particular episode, you'll see a sketch of the UFO with the gigantic balls that it drops on command and attacks people. That is just, it's a banana. I just don't know what to do with it. And actually, the funny thing is, the first time I did this story, I really didn't pay attention to the balls, but now they're like all over the place. This is crazy. The deal with this is, here's a guy, he pulls off to the side of the road. Basically, he's stretching his legs. He's an older guy. You heard his voice? He's old. He gets out of the damn truck. He's a forester. He's been working all day. He does this on a road near M8 motorway. Unbeknownst to him, he's going to have some balls flying his way. He gets down there. He sees this flying dome. It is line sight with him and floating. To me, and I've said this before, and this is 1979. There are no cell phones. You're not going to grab a picture, and I doubt he was driving in his truck with a nice camera. So get the hell up out of there. Run your happy ass home. Get in your truck and go. Or the lorry, or whatever the hell she said. Use that. But the thing is close enough to him to describe the craft. Like he told you. Gave you the color, gave it its appearance, and then all of a sudden, the aroma. Burning brakes. And then the balls drop. You can't write this stuff. You really can't. He ends up getting his butt whooped, basically, by whatever the hell this is. And he had no idea how much time had passed when these balls attacked. I can't do it. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. He basically ended up continuing his journey on foot. So he was not in the same place by the time this was done. He was all beat up. His freaking he had bruises on his face and his arms. His jeans are torn. I mean, he was a wreck. So when he gets home, his wife freaks out. What the hell is going on? What are you doing? She's about to call the damn doctor on his ass. Send him to the loony bin. Put him in a straitjacket because there's no such things as UFOs. And he said it straight up. I will slap you silly. I got attacked by a UFO. What the hell are you talking about? The funny thing is that Nick Popette was the researcher who came out and said this: no middle ground. Because of the person, the integrity of our experiencer, because of who he was, Nick Popette was like, there's just, you can't even interject anything. You can't assume anything at this point because he's a stand-up guy of the community. You heard the sergeant. He said the same thing while he was holding the ball-attacked jeans that were torn. This is back in the late 70s. It is so strange to me, again, that folks that work in forestry back in the 70s, 80s, they were getting their asses handed to them by UFOs. And the world really didn't care too much. Not too much at all. According to Nick Popette, he says that because Robert Taylor is such a genuine guy, a genuine witness who had little to gain but lots to lose, as far as, his wife putting him in a crazy house, in a sanitarium or something like that, and the fact that his reputation was on the line, he didn't get any fame from this. But that made him a credible witness, and the fact that he was attacked by balls sells it all. When you watch the video, by the way, that audio clip is from a video, so you can actually go into the description, click the video, and actually see the guy. He's an older guy at this point. He's no spring chicken. So I would imagine at his age, gigantic flying balls is a problem. There is no running. There's nothing. You just got to take the balls the way you can. Hopefully you survive. So I can see this being credible. I do. I can see. You'll watch a video. Click on it. Go to the video. Check it out. These are two older folks. What the hell else was going on at that point in Scotland in forestry? It's not like he was a rock star or something like that. He wasn't like, he could have been high on some kind of drugs, who knows. But he doesn't seem to be that type of person. Robert Taylor actually passed away in 2007, 13 years ago. Could you imagine how popular he was in the area? I wonder if he ever went back to the forest. I fucking wouldn't. I'd stay away from the whole... I would have moved. Just like I would if the place is haunted. I'd get the hell up out of there. I would not go into the forest ever again. That's just not my kind of thing. The article itself came from UFO Insight, and it's a site that I came across thanks to the UFO Buster Radio UFO bot that works on Twitter. And actually, that's how it got me to the point of actually finding this thing, finding the website. And then I found the actual article about Robert. But the article itself kind of intrigued me because it was investigated by the cops. It initially was investigated because the cops were thinking, because of course the wife said, there's no things as UFOs, no such things. You're crazy, man. That was more like Jamaican. Because she was thinking there were a bunch of kids roughed him up. He beat his ass up, he hit his head, and he just lost his fucking mind. So the cops investigated what happened. Of course, he stuck to his story. No. It was a UFO with big balls. That's what it was. No. I just couldn't imagine. Now, on the other side of this, maybe he was having a wild time. He went to meet somebody out there because when the sergeant was talking, he didn't say holes. It sounded like he was saying the pants had two holes. And I'm like, what's wrong with this copper? Why is he saying hose? He's pointing at these holes, but he keeps saying hose. So maybe he knew the inside track, that maybe this guy was, meeting some lady friends in the forest and things got a little wild. Then the balls came out, and then it just got to be too much. Either way, all jokes aside, I think that he is a credible story. He gave a credible story. It got checked out. The cops went out there. Unfortunately, Nick Popette did put his 2 cents in, but that's the way it goes. It was out there in Scotland. Either way, again, what's going on in the forest? We have Travis Walton. We got this guy today, and then we had the guy the other day in China who was having sex with aliens, and he was also out there, a logger, if you will. It really seems that if we want to find out about aliens and UFOs and stuff like that, you got to spend some time in the woods. Just go out there, have some fun, get naked, get abducted, have the balls dropped on you. Then you'll know if aliens exist.
Got your swag on worse than Clark Gable.
So just to end this episode right now, again, a reminder, Saturday, the Dark Horde, it will be Chris Garcia back to talk about your future. I'm going to ask him about the future of the world after Wuhan done screwed up the planet with COVID-19, the coronavirus. And so we'll talk about those things. I think it's important to see how psychics view things like these that affect us in really a profound way, to be honest. Besides that, I did get another director and actor that wants to come on the podcast to talk about a film that will be dropping and streaming July the 7th. This one is not a documentary. It is a film about a conspiracy having to do with Elvis. And so they've taken that conspiracy and made it into a film. And it does tie into E.T., believe it or not. And I'm fucking shocked. I'm going to have to do some research about this conspiracy regarding Elvis's demise and how it ties to aliens. But anyway, we're going to chat with them on Monday, not on the podcast, but personally, so we can get a date together and see when we can have them on. I don't know how UFO Buster Radio is coming up on the targets for all these little films, but for fuck's sake, this should be funny as hell, I would think, at a very minimum. Now, the actor that actually is the protagonist in the film, he actually is a real live Elvis impersonator. So, at the very least, we should hear some great Elvis sounds up in this track. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a good episode. It is. I guarantee you. And last but not least, don't forget to join Discord. Don't forget to like, share, and tell your peoples about UFO Buster Radio. I mean, because, like, why not? The very last thing I got to say is this. Back on, I want to say it was Dark Horde episode 12. I don't know. It feels like I'm talking about Star Wars. We talked about the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. On Saturday, I will be there. Do some little video, do a walkthrough. This is the one that is in Yorktown, Texas, that was, I guess, for lack of a better word, run down by some nuns who killed a shitload of people. But the place is haunted, and there are people who say that when they go through the tour, they've been tugged and prodded and all kind of stuff, not probed, thankfully, but they felt a lot of things. The cool thing is that this place, they have tours and stuff like that, but they also have overnight stays and things like that. I'm not going to do the overnight stay because I ain't playing like that. I got to come back for the podcast on Saturday. But if you're on Discord and UBR Truth Seekers, as soon as I can, I'm going to upload some of those pictures, and we're going to take these guys in, kind of like take you with me through this tour. Hopefully I can use a video camera. If not, I'll take pictures and share it with you guys. But I hope I have an experience. I hope someone tugs at me, or we hear some crazy voices, kind of like Game Vet does in his ghost research. But it's going to be cool either way. This is the end of the podcast. I got to get back to the Hennessy. And I thank you guys for being part of the show. Ciao.
Sit back, enjoy the ride.
Ugh.